And once again today, actually doing a stream of Golden Kamuy, the manga series. We're good to go, we're good to go, we're good to go. So yes, you have returned to cover episode, chapter 198 of A Golden Kamuy. And as an episode, chapter 197 was actually really kind of the most surprising chapter of the whole entirety of this year so far. In a way, granted, actually probably even more surprising chapters. I mean, the thing with Agata as well, that was very surprising. But man, I can't understand. I can't understand Agata's twist, but I'm just kind of like, I want to see where that goes in a way. I want to see what happens there because it does look very interesting. I just like out of nowhere he speaks Russian. Like I'm just like, what does that mean? Does it mean that he's actually secretly a spy this whole entire time? Does it not? We don't know. That's the thing with that twist. The twist just kind of raises a load more questions. You're like, and who is he? But actually now we're actually going to Koito's past now, and actually we've seen Surumi, and actually see what actually doesn't really happen there because because in a way we know Koito's actual kind of relationship with Surumi. We're guessing now actually we'll understand completely what that relationship actually is. So anyways, actually point to actually gone live. So gone live for chapter 198 of Golden Kamuy. And with that, as I say, every single stream, I believe we're good to go. Are we though? That is the burning question. I every single stream as well. On that front, we most certainly are. On this front, most certainly are not. But yeah, I mean, damn, that twist was like, what? Really? Okay. It was so out of the blue, which is like, it's not as if one of those out of the blue twists, you just like, what? But you kind of like, well, what? But then you kind of like, wait a second, there's probably more to it, isn't there? It's one of those things that I guess is what saves the twist in this manga, is the fact that there's more to the characters that you don't really know. So it actually kind of makes you go, okay, so then it must make sense then. Had it been structured differently, and an Ogata's twist happened, I don't think it would have worked so well. But because the way the manga's actually structured, it actually doesn't very kind of it helps itself in a way. It's one of those things that this chapter actually did pretty well. It's so structured well that you kind of like, yeah, it makes sense in a way. Kind of want to know why it makes sense, but it does make sense. Anyway, it's actually been chapter 198. So I'm the dregs of the Koito family. I could never be a replacement for my brother. I think you're better off getting out what you. I think you're better off getting out what you've got bottled up inside. No, pardon me. I've already said too much to somebody I've just met. I don't believe you have any duty to your father to fill the hole that was left by your brother. Huh? 198 on Tenoshin's tricycle. Hello. I know the words you want to hear. Koito Heyo. Oh man, my nose is actually running as well. Jesus Christ. Heinojo. I can't even say that word correctly. Ensign in the Imperial Navy. He died on May 27th, September 17th. He was killed in the Battle of Yalu River during the Sino-Japanese War, wasn't he? My brother was 13 years older than me, so it happened when I was 8. My brother was on the Matsushima. Shells from the Chinese cannons killed 57 men on that ship. My father was on another ship, and I heard that he stood with his eyes glued to the badly damaged Matsushima. After he came home, not only did my father never scold me, he never even showed a smile. Countless times I've imagined what my father saw. My brother's horrific death. Some of the men were burned alive by steam or blown to pieces on the deck. I heard it from my classmates at Kaijo. Kaijo is a preparatory school for students going into the Imperial Navy Academy. If I'm on a ship for a long time, I start to think about my brother, and I get horribly seasick. Someone who can't stay on a ship for more than a day can never become a great naval officer. My brother might be feeling lonely soon. We have to move to Hakodate because of my father's work. Hakodate, eh? I think you would like it there. The scenery is a bit like Sakurajima. It's a harbour town spread out beneath a mountain, as if the mountain was gazing down on it. You know Hakodate? Well, Sukisapu is in Hokkaido after all. Thanks. Until we meet again. Will we ever actually meet again? If coincidence brings us together again, then I'd say we should listen to that voice from the heavens telling us to become friends. Ah. See, the problem is with his character. If you go back to what happened with Gati, you're kind of like, wait a second here. I don't know. Well, is he actually being sincere? Aesthetically speaking, Surumi's quite a hard character to read, in a way. Hakodate. Koito Tonoshin, age 16. That's Commander Koito's son. I hear he was a real problem kid at Kaijo. He's taking the exam to get into the Naval Academy this year, right? The way he's going seems like he's bound to fail. What a pampered little brat. You're in the way, hurry up and move it. Huh? What was that? 4 days later, the Koito residence in Hakodate. The officer that was invited from the army, what kind of person is he? Mother, Koito Yuki. He's from the Special Service Agency in Sukisapu, and he's said to be quite a clever fellow. Because of his proficiency in the Russian language, he seems to be the only man suited for the job. Navy Lieutenant Nakayama. Father, Koito Heiji. Weren't there any men in the Navy who could speak Russian? Surumi, Army First Lieutenant. I tell the liberty of letting myself in through the back door. First of all, we should close all the curtains. If we're fully visible from outside, it will give away any of our plans to get back your son. Oh, so this probably must be why. Ah, I see. Was Otonoshin's tricycle found past the closed gates of the Russian consulate on the consulate premises? The Russian consulate is deserted during the summer. I didn't go into the building because the grounds are Russian territory, but I didn't sense the presence of any people there. Well, of course, it's likely that they would be keeping your son in a consulate. Are they after money? Are they after money? If they wanted a child from a rich family, they would have plenty to choose from in this town. If Russia is involved in this kidnapping, then the solution becomes significantly more serious. Drink this water. That's Russian. Do you understand Japanese? Shut up. I may not look it, but I am the son of a Navy man. I can see how Russia is moving south and sense the threat of the war on the horizon. This is related to the nearly completed Ominato torpedo division that my father is in charge of, isn't it? A naval base. My father will absolutely never do the bidding of Russia for my sake. When the Vladivostok fleet passes through the Tsugaru Strait to reach the Pacific, the Ominato torpedo division and Fort Hakodate will be a real thorn in their side. Fort Hakodate. Right at this moment, there are torpedo boats moored in the Hakodate harbour, ready to be stationed in Ominato. If Russia is behind the kidnapping, then we can predict that their goal is for those ships to be destroyed, so as to temporarily lower our defences. I'd have to say though, it feels like the culprits should have sent some sort of threat by now. Well then, let's make a move. Maybe something will happen. Russian consulate. It's coming from inside the consulate. Please wait. That could be from the kidnappers. Yes, most likely it is from the kidnappers. But the timing of this call is too perfect. The Russian consulate is being watched. For now, let's act as if nothing's happened and head back. We have to always be moving 2 steps ahead of them. If we misjudge the move we should be making, then that would be checkmate for us. Please endure it, Commander Koito. There are 320 telephone owners in Hakodate. If we consider the area that can see the Russian consulate through a telescope, exclude public facilities, banks and the like, focus on stores and private residencies, there are over 50 locations that would make a suitable hideout for the criminals. I have a number of my men out performing reconnaissance, but they can't barge into each residence. If we move too boldly, the culprits will figure out what's going on. Once our preparations are complete, we'll go to the Russian consulate again. When they call us, we'll ask to have Otonoshin put on the line, and we'll confirm his safety. Then we'll immediately end the call. Ask the operator for the phone number of the caller and determine its location. Otonoshin. We'll do absolutely everything we can, so please don't give up hope. There's a phone over here. But Commander Koito has a phone they could have used too. The Russian consulate is located at the highest point of the slopes leading up to Mount Hakodate. It's easy to observe from a wide area of the city. The phone operator's room closes at 7 p.m, so there won't be a call until 6 in the morning. Let's keep the lights on and show them that we're in here. This is actually really freaking cool. This is actually such a really interesting chapter. I don't know why. I like stuff like this. It's really interesting to see how they actually have to go about trying to actually get someone out. It's always been one of those things, especially in films, when they actually manage to do it quite correctly. It's just so freaking interesting. It's so freaking interesting the fact to actually kind of watch it actually happen, and actually see them get the person out. If the demands of the kidnappers are to render Ominato Torpedo Division and the Fort Hakodate defenseless, then complying with those demands will be a signal for Russia to move to attack. It will be the start of a war. For the sake of my son, hundreds of thousands, no, millions of citizens will be sacrificed. There's no other choice. Otonoshin will have to die. Eat. This is a flavor from 2 years ago. 198 end. And there we go. It's actually really interesting. So, Meiji 27, 1894 on the Western calendar, Battle of the Yalu River. A naval engagement took place on September 17th, 1894, and it was the largest naval battle of the First Sino-Japanese War. Matsushima. The Matsushima was one of the 3 Matsushima-class protected cruisers. It was completed in 1892 and remained in operation until 1908, when it was sunk by an accidental explosion. The story that Koito relates in this chapter really did happen when the Matsushima was struck by several shells from Chinese ships. 57 men were killed, but the ship itself was not sunk. It continued to see service during the Russo-Japanese War. The Koito residence. The model of this house is a former residence of Saigo Judo, of a Meiji-era admiral and brother to Saigo Takamori. Like several other buildings that Noda has used as models, this is located in the Meiji Mura Museum in Nagoya, an open-air architectural museum. Russian consulate in Hakodate. This was also based on a real building that still stands in Hakodate, although it's no longer in use. The consulate was established in 1858, before being shuttered from 1862 to 1906. The building burned down in 1907, and the current building, shown the pictures on the left, was rebuilt in 1908. The consulate stopped being used as a consulate in 1944. Ominato Torpedo Division. The naval base began construction in 1900 and was completed on August 1st, 1902. In 1905 it was upgraded to 3rd Echelon Naval Port, and in 1941 it was upgraded again to Guard District. So Fort Hakodate. This fort was planned from 1896 in anticipation for the potential conflict in Russia. It was completed in 1902 on the top of the Mount Hakodate. It was later named to Fort Tsugaru. In order to keep the base secure, much of Mount Hakodate was closed to the public until 1946. Now, the remains of the fort are designated as Hokkaido's cultural property. Designated? Yeah, as Hokkaido's cultural property. And there we go. Yeah, I mean... So, who's the mystery person that's with Koito? That's the question. Is it someone we know? That's the question. I kind of, That's... See. I didn't want to say anything, but I was thinking that the whole entire time. I was like, that's Ogata, isn't it? It's got to be him. It lines up too freaking well. Like, for him to speak Russian randomly, and then Koito get kidnapped by Russians in the past, it has to make sense in some capacity that it's actually him. Which I guess then makes the whole thing with Ogata actually he did work with Russia at one point. Then he must have done. But that's the problem. Yeah, there's too many things that it's like as if he's making you think it's him, but then it's actually be like, nah, it's not him at all. I don't know, it's the thing. That's why it's kind of like it has to be a red herring, but then again, it could be him. Because it all lines up perfectly, if you get what I mean. Good point also. It could be Tsukushima, but what... Would Tsukushima, yeah, it would have happened. The whole thing with Tsukushima would have happened by now, wouldn't it? But yeah, the other thing goes back to also with Tsurumi as well, because the whole thing with Tsurumi and Koito, you don't know whether or not he's actually been sincere the whole entire time, because the whole thing with Ogata was the fact that you can tell by his speech that he wasn't being sincere. He was manipulating him in a way. Though I don't think Tsurumi was manipulating him to the extent like he would do nowadays. But it's one of those things I kind of always questioned how Tsurumi acts, because he's one of those characters that kind of gets people on his side. But then they actually goes out of his way to help him in the end. So it's one of those things. It's kind of it's kind of like, is he being sincere? Is he not being sincere? Is he actually kind of being a good guy at this point? Who knows? He's actually a very interesting character, because you really can't pinpoint him at all, because he's always kind of like, is it or isn't it? I don't know. He's actually quite interesting. But yeah, I actually kind of like this chapter overall, because it's just I like when actually how to plan stuff out. It's actually kind of really intricate. It's one of those things. I've always liked that. It's always been very interesting to actually kind of see it unfold, because it's kind of fascinating to see how they actually get out of it. And this chapter actually was no different. Actually, the actual ramifications behind what's actually going to happen with Koito as well does actually really add so much more to why he's actually kind of like the importance of him later on, I guess, in a way. I don't think Koito will die just yet. That's the problem. I don't think any character will die, because theoretically speaking, one of the characters is already dead. So I don't think they would kill anyone else off. It's kind of like, why would you do that? But then again, this manga is actually quite surprising sometimes. It's one of those things you just can't really predict it. So in doing so, you're kind of stuck and like, I wonder, will they actually do anything? Because it's probably something with Ogata as well. Something that happened to Ogata. I maintain, though I don't want to see it happen. He's kind of cruising down Death Street in a way. Like he's strolling through Death Street at this point. He's just like, oh, I'm practically dead at this point. So you know what, I'm gonna go in a complete blaze of glory. And it's kind of like, please just calm down for a second here, Ogata. Please, it's just I need to know more about you before you bite a dust, so to speak, or don't bite a dust. Who knows? But yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if it actually does if it actually is planned out to be him. But then, with the whole thing with Ogata and Tsurumi would have happened at this point. Then we'll go back and look at the dates in a way and see where Ogata and Tsurumi's kind of meet up would have happened as well. Because that's the case, and would the whole thing with Tsurumi it would paint a different picture about how Tsurumi's doing the whole entire thing as well. That's a thing as well. It's interesting because if it's both of them, you kind of then question Tsurumi's actions, whether or not it actually doesn't very kind of bring into question what he's doing. Like, is he genuine? It brings him back into the picture. I don't know. It's kind of interesting when you think about it, because it's one of those things. Are they acting off their own volition? Was it actually with Tsurumi? Who knows? You just don't know with Tsurumi either. He's a very hard character to predict for that reason, because he's kind of stuck there. Like, is he? Isn't he? I don't know, but he's interesting. Though I do maintain there is something more going on with Surumi's character. That's why he always appears in people's backstories, because there's just something more with him. And as the manga actually develops, you slowly unravel that mystery behind him. Like, especially now we know about his family, so there's got to be more to him as well. Good point. That would be an interesting thing to see. Actually, I want to see when he was 20 years old. It'd be quite the cool Ogata in a way. I don't know. I wanna. He would be like 20 at this point, wouldn't he? I think he'd be 20. Yeah, he would be. Because the whole thing with Surumi would have happened. Like, the whole thing with Ogata's backstory. Is there a date for Ogata's backstory? Let's have a quick look. Ogata backstory. Where are you? There it is. I don't think I should give you a date, but it might give you a it might give you an indication where it could have happened. No, it wouldn't have happened. It might be beforehand, because in the backstory, Surumi's already got the wound on his face, so it's one of those things that you kind of like, okay, so what is it kind of, it wouldn't have been there, so they can't have met up just yet, so they're probably acting off their own volition, which then actually brings to question the thing with Ogata's backstory again. Like, what's the truth there? Is there anything that happened that actually happened? We don't know. That's the thing. Because again, it's just too many things now. That if it is both of them, then what? What? It brings in so many more things. Just kind of like, how? Okay, that's interesting, but how? So who are they? Well, more importantly, who is Ogata? Though he could have actually rebelled against everything that happened when he was in his teens at that point anyway, so that could have actually been the twist also. That he just rebelled and actually joined a kind of a different group. Who knows? That's the thing also. Because hatred for his father might have actually done that. Might have actually made him go to a different side completely for a little while. But then also go back afterwards when he actually got his revenge on his father, in a way, I guess. So, yeah, Tsukishima makes more sense in a way, if you get what I mean, but Ogata's kind of interesting, because it's kind of like, if it is him, what does it all mean? How did he get there? Why is he there? It makes sense because he speaks Russian, so it's kind of like, you put two and two together, but at the same time, I kind of think it's a red herring, at the same time. I don't know, I can't pinpoint him. That's the thing, I can't pinpoint what the twist will actually be. It also brings someone more questions, because their faces are covered as well, so you just don't know who it is. If it was just some rando dude off the street, you'd be like, oh, it's just some random dude off the street. But it's someone with a face that's covered, so you kind of like, it has to be one of them, because they wouldn't put so much effort into that for it just to be some random person. It has to be someone very important, and it has to be one of those two, or it could be someone else. Who knows? It could be a major twist. It could be someone completely different that's actually possibly already dead. Who knows? That's the thing also, you just don't know. But yeah, I mean, hopefully next week's chapter actually kind of doesn't really just bring that into question, because God, that's gonna be a twist of the century. Whoever that one is, I don't know, because we have the twist story with Surumi's like kind of backstory, so I actually wonder what this twist will be also. Who knows? But yeah, that's gonna do it for today, I think. So, as always, if you have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on on Twitch, then do leave a follow on Twitch, because indeed it's going to be quite a bit. If you haven't enjoyed here on YouTube and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it's going to be quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here on YouTube and you want to stay a bit longer, then do indeed leave a sub, because indeed it's going to be quite a bit. If you have enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to stay a bit longer, actually are new here, then do in free. Follow me on Twitter, because indeed it's been quite a bit. On Twitter, actually know when these streams go live, streams I do as well. I actually don't have a Twitter account, but do have a Discord. I also have one of those. It does infer Tony streams go live, streams I do as well. But until next time, chapter 199, close to 200. See you guys later. Bye for now.